Lumada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lumada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lumada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lumada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Story Time. Thank you so much for joining me today, and glad we are here together. Happy Thursday. Thank you indeed for being here, and I hope that you had a lovely day to start, and I hope that indeed you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of this week. Tiny bit left, and of course, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I hope those are good for you. And of course, too, if you're observing other things as well, Kwanzaa, if you're observing Hanukkah, I hope that all that goes well. I hope that, the spirit of all those comes together, family, if you're able, and also friendships and peace and everything good. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Glad that we're here together, and we do have one wonderful book coming back to Story Time after a tiny bit. This one is coming back. I think it's maybe a month ago that we read this one, and we're glad to bring it back. And this one is called Can Sophie Change the World? This one is written by Nancy Elizabeth Wallace and illustrations by Aura Lewis. Yes. Can Sophie change the world? Yes, yes, yes. Let's find out what's going to happen. So please stick around. Thank you so much for joining in today. I'm glad that we are here together. As always, let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you, ready to read this story with us. Thank you indeed for being here. And special mention for today too is Heartstring. Remember this one from Brooke Boynton Hughes, written and illustrated by Brooke Boynton Hughes, and of course published by Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Publication day for this one was December 20th. So it is out. It is available. So you find it where you find books. Ask for it at your local library. Yes, if you had pre-ordered, then it should be on its way. But this one is out. Heartwarming book. Beautiful, beautiful, showing how our hearts are all interconnected. Thank you so much for joining in today, and I hope that you get a chance to read that one as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a wonderful story. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Amanda West, thank you so much for joining in. And of course, Sarah and Nathan. Oh, and in a very soon to be snowy Illinois. We're waiting to see exactly how much snow we're going to get, and if we're going to experience thunder and snow too. Oh my goodness. Well, wishing you the best. I know I've been trying to follow it on the news as they've been talking about the storm coming your way. So I hope that indeed you are okay. And yes, please keep us posted. And yeah, wish you the best. Thank you so much for joining in. And it's always for me, it's always amazing because I know that there's a lot of experience with weather like that. For people, but it's so foreign to me, and so yes, I hope that it passes as smoothly as can be. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for being here with us on Story Time, and glad that you're here with us. Sending you extra hugs and love, and of course well wishes too. Thank you so much for joining in, Sarah and Nathan, and of course Amanda West. Thank you for being here with us in a soon to be very snowy Illinois. Thank you for joining in. pictures if you're able, please. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Christine Costa and of course Miles and Owen out in Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. What do you think? Can Sophie change the world? Well, we'll be finding that out very shortly. This one coming to us from Nancy Elizabeth Wallace and Aura Lewis, and of course Chronicle Books of San Francisco. So get ready for this one coming up very shortly. Thank you indeed for being here with us. And of course too, we don't forget, we have our kindness challenge that is going on. And today is the 22nd. Yes, the 22nd. I'd remind myself. Light blue, second line from the bottom. And it says on there, congratulate someone for an achievement that may go unnoticed. Means we have to pay close attention and look closely, listen harder, and of course just pay extra attention. And let's see, congratulate someone for an achievement that may go unnoticed. Yes, those are things sometimes that just seem like it's just every day somebody going through, maybe somebody making it to winter break. Right, you've gone through school, you've worked hard, and now you're here. So that's an achievement, something to celebrate, right? So little things like that, let's look out for them, and today try and congratulate someone for an achievement that may go unnoticed. Thank you so much for joining in today in Storytime, and of course a big thank you to Action for Kindness, Action for Happiness, for allowing us to share this kindness challenge here on Storytime. Thank you indeed. Good morning to you. Tara McNamara, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining us. And of course, Erin and Clara, well, thank you for that love. Sending you some right back. Thank you so much for joining in and just saying good morning from Massachusetts, where it is 28 degrees and gray, but still beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing pictures if you can, please. Thank you for sharing. Yes, I can. I can only imagine the beauty out there. But thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for sharing, Erin and Clara. We wish you the very best today. Thank you so much for being here with us. I hope that you're ready to enjoy this wonderful story that we have here together. Do you remember it from last time? Or will this be a good reread for all of us? Thank you so much for joining in. Can Sophie change the world? Yes, mitzvahs are really powerful, but can Sophie change the world? This one, Nancy Elizabeth Wallace, and illustrations by Aura Lewis. And we'll be reading it with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. So get ready for this one coming up after this short break. Thank you indeed for being here with us. As always, let us know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. Thank you so much for being here with us on Storytime.
Have you ever wondered what makes you special? Maybe it's the color of your eyes. Maybe it's something that you can do, like sing. Well, with my brand new book, I See Me, you'll find out exactly what makes you awesomely special. Make sure you keep in touch with me on my social media handles and at Just in Time for Storytime. You're watching Storytime with Mr. Lamont.
Welcome back. Thank you indeed for being here with us. Justin Ford, follow him, Just in Time Storytime, and of course his new book, I See Me. Really beautiful book. We've read it here on Storytime, so if you want to know what it's all about, check it out here on the Storytime platforms, and of course find it where you find books. Thank you, Justin Ford, and happy belated birthday too. I know it was your birthday recently. I hope that you had a good one, and talk to you soon in group for sure. Thank you so much for joining us on Storytime. All right, are you ready for today's story? Yes, mitzvahs are really powerful, but can Sophie change the world? This one is written by Nancy Elizabeth Wallace, and illustrations by Aura Lewis. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And we're reading this one with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Are you ready? All right, here we go. And I have to show you those end papers. Really beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Look at those sunflowers. Oh my goodness, the bees. What can you see on there? Love it, love it, love it. It's a cat too. Meow. Can Sophie change the world? Written by Nancy Elizabeth Wallace. Illustrations by Aura Lewis. Read with permission and published by Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Are you ready? All right. Before we get started, too, I see somebody is in with us. Good morning to you, Marietta. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you made it. Good morning to you. Just made it. Nick is here with me. Well, Nick, how are you doing? So good to see you. Thank you so much. Nick, are you trading in horse riding today to be with us? We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Henry is at school. Well, Henry sending you extra love. If you do watch this later on, hugs to you. Thank you so much. Enjoy it out there. Hope everyone is doing well, you say. Well, they hear you loud and clear. I am well, and we're hoping that everybody else is doing well too. Thank you so much for joining in. Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh, and yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Oh. Yes, Clara. I should learn to say your name like Owen does, shouldn't I? All right, here we go. Nick, thank you so much for joining in. Good to see you here with us. Oh my goodness. Love it. Can Sophie change the world? Written by Nancy Elizabeth Wallace, illustrations by Aura Lewis. Here we go. And of course, reading this one with permission of the publishers, Chronicle Books of San Francisco. It was a normal Sunday afternoon, except for one thing. What was it? Grandpop, your birthday is only in 1 week. Oh my goodness. Sophie was very excited. What can I give you? She asked. Said Grandpop. I have everything I need. I really don't need more. Something, Grandpop, said Sophie. Something, give me something. Grandpop thought for a minute. I know, he said. You could change the world. Whoa, change the world? How? Asked Sophie. By doing kind deeds. Give me a mitzvah, a kind deed, Grandpa said. More than anything, that's what I want. Oh my goodness. Doesn't that sound daunting? Change the world? How will Sophie do that? Yes, change the world by doing kind deeds. Give me a mitzvah, a kind deed, Grandpa said. More than anything, that's what I want. Oh my. Good luck, Sophie. Oh. That night, Sophie was worried. Oh, I can imagine. The world was so big. How could she change it? She didn't know, but she would try. Oh, that's the spirit. The world was so big. How could she change it? She didn't know. But you know what? She would try. Oh. Yes, indeed. On Monday, Sophie shared puppets with Ben, taught Aisha the clapping song, and asked the new student, Evan, to play catch. Aww. Sophie liked being a friend, but she thought to herself, I didn't change the world. Aww. Yes. On Monday, Sophie shared her puppets with Ben, taught Aisha the clapping song, and asked the new student, Evan, to play catch. and she liked being a friend. But she thought, I didn't change the world. There's still this big task to change the world. Ah. On Tuesday, when Sophie saw cans on the grass, she picked them up and dropped them in the recycle bin. When a baby dropped her stuffed animal, Sophie ran to return it. Aw. Sophie liked helping, but still she thought, I didn't change the world. She tried again. On Wednesday, she filled her family's empty bird bath and watered her neighbor's wilting flowers. Sophie liked taking care of things, but she thought, I didn't change the world. What could Sophie do? What more could Sophie do? What do you think she needs to do to change the world? Ah, and she is working really hard. On Thursday, Sophie played with Sari so Mom could paint. Aw, that made Mom smile, and Sophie too. But she thought, I didn't change the world. Oh my goodness. On Thursday, Sophie played with Sari so Mom could paint. That made Mom smile, and Sophie too. But she thought, I didn't change the world. Oh my goodness. I didn't change the world. What can I do? The world is so big. How could I possibly change it? On Friday, Sophie worked with Mom and Dad in the community garden. Sophie liked giving some of the vegetables she helped grow to people who needed them. Aw. Still, she thought, I didn't change the world. That task is still there. Aw. On Friday, Sophie worked with Mom and Dad in the community garden. Sophie liked giving some of the vegetables she helped grow to people who needed them. Aw. Still, she thought, I didn't change the world. Aw. When Sophie got to Grandpop's on the weekend, she ran to him. Grandpop, I tried. I really did. I tried. I did lots of mitzvahs. I really tried, but I couldn't change the world. I really wanted to, though. Aw. Grandpop looked to her very seriously. Tell me about your mitzvahs. When she finished, Grandpop's eyes were twinkling. Sweetheart, every mitzvah, every act of kindness, big or small, makes a difference. Aw. If you hadn't invited Evan to play, he would have felt left out. What if you hadn't found a baby stuffed animal? She might not have been able to sleep without it. Aw. And watering your neighbor's wilted flowers, well, that's a double mitzvah. Double mitzvah? What's that? Double mitzvah. Oh my goodness, let's hear more about this. A double mitzvah? Yes. You kept the flowers alive and blooming by giving them a good long drink of water. And you helped your neighbor by watering her flowers while she was away. Aw. Yes, indeed. Look at the plants. They thank you for it. They are so grateful. You kept the flowers alive and blooming by giving them a good long drink of water, and you helped your neighbor by watering her flowers while she was away. Ah. Yes, indeed. Oh, love it, love it. Sophie was quiet. Grandpop gave her a big, warm, snuggle hug. Mwah, ah. Acts of kindness, big or small, are how you change the world. Do you see that your kindness made our world a more giving, sharing, blooming, caring place? Suddenly, she did. Oh, and then Sophie had an idea. Isn't that sweet? Grandpop gave her a big, warm, snuggle hug. Oh my goodness. I want one of those too. Acts of kindness, big or small, are how you change the world. Do you see that your kindness made our world a more giving, sharing, blooming, and caring place? Suddenly, Sophie did. She saw that her acts of kindness had changed the world. And then she had an idea. What is it? First, they cut out shapes. Then Grandpa glued while Sophie wrote. They worked together and worked and worked. Oh, doesn't that look like fun? I hope that you can get to do your own artwork today. Some painting, some cutting. Happy birthday, Grandpa! Yes, and that beautiful flower. That's all the different mitzvahs that Sophie did. Giving the birds a drink, helping my neighbor, working in the garden, watering flowers, playing with my friends, sharing my puppets, so much more. Aw. Maybe you can make your own flower for our December kindness challenge that we've been doing. Let's see how beautiful that will be. This is a perfect birthday gift, said Grandpa. You and your mitzvahs make me so happy. Oh, Sophie felt happy too. She wanted to do more and more and more mitzvahs. Now Sophie knew how to change the world. Ah. Yes, she wanted to do more and more and more mitzvahs. Now Sophie knew how to change the world. Aw. Look at that smile on her face. Yes, when we do kind deeds, it makes us happy too. And that is the end of our story. Thank you so much for joining in today. And the author's note is really short, so let's just jump into it too really quickly, and then we'll come back to see who is with us this morning. Author's note. This is coming to you from Nancy Elizabeth Wallace, and she says, "When I was growing up, my mom was my role model for being caring and kind. She was always looking to see if someone needed help, a meal delivered, a listening ear, or to be included. When I feel helpless and get to worrying about how I can change our world to make it better, I remember my mom showing me that even a small act of kindness can make a big difference to someone else. And in the doing, my own heart becomes happier too." And she goes on to say, "Thank you, Mom, for your lasting gift." Thank you. Thank you. Listen to that last line. I remember my mom showing me that even a small act of kindness can make a big difference to someone else. And in the act of doing that, my own heart becomes happier too. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And I hope you enjoyed that journey going all around with Sophie, trying to see how she could change the world. Thank you so much for joining in. This one is called Mitzvahs Are Really Powerful, but Can Sophie Change the World? Nancy Elizabeth Wallace and Aura Lewis, and of course, published by Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Thank you so much for joining in today. Absolutely love that one. I will see you on the other side of this very short break. Thank you indeed for being here with us on Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate you all.
This is Anika Morose-Reese, author of The Teacher's Pet, Watch Out for Wolf, Love Sophia on the Moon, the Anna Banana chapter book series, and Hide and Don't Seek and other very scary stories. And you are watching Storytime with Mr. Lamata.
Welcome back indeed. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad we were here together. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful journey with Sophie, and of course, just showing the beauty, the little things that we can do to make this world better indeed. Thank you so much for joining in. And of course, too, remember that we have our own kindness challenge. Yes, mitzvah challenge that is going on here on Storytime. Thank you to Action for Happiness for sharing this resource with us. And of course, we've been sharing it throughout this December here on Storytime. And hopefully, too, we're like Sophie, after doing all these kind deeds, hopefully we want to do more and more and more kindness acts. So indeed, today we're focused on 22. It is the 22nd of December. So we're focused on 22, and that's the light blue second line from the bottom. And it does say, congratulate someone for an achievement that may go unnoticed. And you know what? Talking about congratulating people for achievements that may go unnoticed, well, our very own here, Marietta out in Massachusetts. Congratulations so much on your upcoming book. I cannot wait for March 1st, 2023, when the book is out and we can share it, and we can definitely get to celebrate even more. I know just how much hard work goes into that. Well, I can imagine just the amount of work that goes into that. And to finally see your works, the fruits of your labor coming to fruition, we cannot wait for people to see. And hopefully, too, tomorrow join us so you can see how the cover looks like. And yeah, just happy for you, my friend, happy for you. And I hope that, like it brings you joy, just like it is already for me. And I hope that it brings joy to many, many more kids and adults alike out there. Thank you so much for what you're doing. And I know too, there's new books, another one. I saw another title on the way. So man, working away out there in Massachusetts. Thank you. I can see the studio magic is working. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. And I cannot wait to show everybody what that book is all about. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad you were here with us. To everybody that is joining in, thank you indeed. I hope that you do have a wonderful Thursday. Christine Costa, thank you for joining us. And of course, Miles and Owen, thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely love it that we're here together. Amanda, West, Sarah, and Nathan, thank you for joining us out there in soon-to-be snowy Illinois. Thank you so much for joining in today. Love it that we're here together. And indeed, have a wonderful Thursday. Marietta, thank you for joining in. Nick, hugs to you. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Glad you were here with us. Appreciate you being here with us today. And of course, Henry, sending you love, and hopefully see you soon on Storytime as well. I hope that your break will be a good one. I'm assuming that you're going on break tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely love it. Yes, indeed. Kwawa, thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Thank you indeed. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that story. It is a powerful one, a beautiful one indeed. Thank you indeed for being here. And of course, find it where you find books. And of course, remember too that you can always catch it right here on Storytime, 7 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. And of course, at your convenience, at your leisure, at your own time. I know there'll be snow coming, all kinds of weather coming, and hopefully you can tuck away in a corner somewhere and get to catch up on some Storytime. Of course, read along if you have the book with you at home. Thank you so much for joining in. Sending you love from here at Storytime. What a lovely story, encouraging acts of kindness. Really love the illustration style. Well, thank you so much for joining in, Marietta. And yes, beautiful book indeed. Love it so much. And I must say too, like before this, I had not been introduced to Aura Lewis's work much, and I do love it, I must say. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for highlighting that as well. Very, very cheerful, happy illustrations. Thank you so much for joining in. Marietta, we are here, and we are going to be celebrating your achievements for sure. Thank you. Happy for you, and I'm sure this community too says congratulations and are so happy for you as well. And we cannot wait to have you here on Storytime so you can tell us a little bit more about it. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. This has been Storytime for today. These have been the acts of kindness from Sophie today as she embarked on changing the world. And thank you indeed for joining in. I hope that you have a lovely Thursday. Thank you to us from us here at Storytime, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for more Storytime. Much love from me. Please remember, try and do those acts of kindness that we've been sharing here on Storytime, and indeed check in on your loved ones, check in on your neighbors, check in on your friends, and especially the ones that seem strong. Check in on them. It is so important because yes, this life, there's so many things that come our way, so many things that happen, and everybody needs that arm around the shoulder, needs that pat on the back every now and then. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for making my days brighter here together. Thank you indeed. Much love from me. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely. Won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't be lonely. Won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.